Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Sound on Stage nominee sort of ceremony-ish announcement. I'm coming to you tonight from Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort in Walt Disney World here in balmy Central Florida. It's 81 degrees at 9 o'clock at night here, and it is still a bit humid. So I thank you for joining me. It's still a little bit early on the West Coast, 6 p.m. And again, thank you for joining me, whether you're watching me here live or if you're watching a recorded version of this. If you are watching live and you have comments or questions, I'll have to get to those later. My laptop is kind of across the way and I can't see what's coming across the screen as I go through here. But just a little background. So this year has probably been the most difficult to narrow down nominees just because of the sheer number of shows. And, over 115 shows, both professional and community, musicals and plays, new theaters added to the scope of our coverage. But we've done our best to go through each of the shows and review them again and narrow down our list of top five finalists for nominees, which the winners will be announced on Sunday, September 15th at our award ceremony in Tacoma at Tacoma Little Theater. So hope you can join us there, whether you're a nominee or just a fan of theater. We really hope you can make it. Our award ceremony last year was better than I could have hoped for, with professional and community actors just getting together, smiling, laughing, just having a good time. And we're going to try to repeat that again this year. But you're not here to listen to me talk about our award ceremony yet or how humid it is here in Florida. You want to know what the nominees are for for the award. So we've got four major categories. We've got professional, community, we've got plays and musicals as subcategories under each. We're going to start with the professional and just a little bit of definition for professional. So these are the theaters that are actors equity houses that tend to put up professional shows where actors are paid. Not that actors are not paid in other venues as well, but we had to sort of categorize them based on their professional status. So as we go through these, you'll notice that these are a group of theaters that are pretty well known as the professional ones in the Seattle area. So without any further ado, let's get started. We're going to start with professional plays. And this is first set of nominees is for best sound design for a play in the professional category. Those nominees are Evan Mosher for Last Drive to Dodge at Taproot Theater, Nick Cortides or Cortides. You'll have to tell me if I mispronounce your name, or if you know if I mispronounce your name, please let me know in the comments here and I'll make sure to correct it. I apologize if I do so. So Evan Mosher, Last Drive to Dodge at Taproot, Nick Cortides, Ken Ludwig Sherwood at Village Theater, Andre Plus, Sanctuary City, Seattle Rep, Aaron Bednarz, Stu, ACT Community Theater, Phil Johnson, Fat Ham at Seattle Rep. That's for best sound design for a play, for a professional play. Best lighting design for a professional play. Michael Wellborn, The Book of Will at Taproot Theater. Connie Yun, A Case for the Existence of God at ACT Community Theater. Andrew Smith, The Bed Trick, Seattle Shakespeare. Robert Aguilar, Fat Ham, Seattle Rep. Matt McCarran, Romeo and Juliet, Seattle Shakespeare. That's lighting design for professional play. Costume design for a professional play. Chelsea Cook, Ken Ludwig Sherwood at Village Theater. Katrina Hess, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Seattle Shakespeare. Nanette Acosta, The Book of Will at Taproot. Jocelyn Fowler, Romeo and Juliet, Seattle Shakespeare. And Pete Rush, Sherlock Holmes in the Precarious Position at Taproot Theater. Again, that is best costume design for a professional play. Best set design for a professional play. Misha Cockman, Ken Ludwig Sherwood at Village Theater. Tucker Goodman, The Comedy of Errors, Seattle Shakespeare. Mark Lund, The Book of Will at Taproot Theater. Parmita Zaid, A Case for the Existence of God at ACT. Kate Hevner, Fat Ham, Seattle Rep. That's Best Set Design for a Professional Play. Best Performance from an Ensemble for Professional Play. Ken Ludwig Sherwood at Village Theater. The Merry Wives of Windsor at Seattle Shakespeare. The Book of Will, Taproot Theater. Fat Ham, Seattle Rep. And Romeo and Juliet, Seattle Shakespeare. Best Performance from a Supporting Actor for a Professional Play. Brandon O'Neill, Ken Ludwig Sherwood, Village Theater. Richard Wynn Sloniker, Little Women, Seattle Rep. Jesse Callisto, The Comedy of Errors, Seattle Shakespeare. Chip Sherman, Fat Ham, Seattle Rep. And Sarah Harlett, Romeo and Juliet, Seattle Shakespeare. Best Performance from a Featured Actor, Nathaniel Tenenbaum, Ken Ludwig Sherwood at Village Theater. Nick Donner, The Book of Will at Village Theater. Shimona Mitchell, Stew at ACT. Rachel Geyer Mafoon, The Bed Trick, Seattle Shakespeare. Reginald Andre Jackson, Fat Ham, Seattle Rep. That's Best Performance from a Featured Actor. Best Performance from a Lead Actor in a Professional Play. Yusef Sievers, Last Drive to Dodge, Taproot Theater. Ricky Spalding, Ken Ludwig Sherwood, Village Theater. Nathaniel Tenenbaum, A Case for the Existence of God at ACT. Shanice Omar, Stew at ACT. And finally, Reginald Andre Jackson, The Book of Will at Taproot Theater. Best Direction of a Professional Play. Adam Immerwahr, Ken Ludwig Sherwood, Village Theater. Jimmy Shields, The Comedy of Errors, Seattle Shakespeare. Timothy McCune Piggy, Fat Ham, Seattle Rep. Sheila Daniels, Romeo and Juliet, Seattle Shakespeare. And Karen Lund, The Book of Will at Taproot Theater. And finally, Best Play in the Professional category. Ken Ludwig Sherwood, Village Theater. The Book of Will, Taproot Theater. The Bed Trick, Seattle Shakespeare. Fat Ham, Seattle Rep. And Romeo and Juliet, Seattle Shakespeare. So that's it for the play category. I'm just going to check here. I've got a message on my... Okay. Okay, so now we can move on to professional musicals. Best Sound Design for a Musical in the Professional category. Mark Lund, The Hello Girls, Taproot Theater. Ed Chapman, Disney's Little Mermaid at Fifth Avenue Theater. Haley Parcher, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue. Robertson Whitmer, Once on This Island, Village Theater. Justin Stasu, Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue. That's Best Sound Design for a Professional Musical. Best Lighting Design. Heather Gilbert, White Christmas, Fifth Avenue. Robert Aguilar, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue. Albert Mendez, Gunmetal Blues, Key City Public Theater. Robert Aguilar, Once on This Island, Village Theater. And Ben Zamora, Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Best Costume Design for a Music in the Professional category. Nanette Acosta, The Hello Girls, Taproot Theater. Amy Clark and Mark Koss, The Little Mermaid, Fifth Avenue. Carrie Robbins, White Christmas at Fifth Avenue. Esther Garcia, The Fantastics at Village Theater. And Danielle Nieves, Once on This Island, Village Theater. Best Set Design in the musical professional category. Anna Luizos, White Christmas, Fifth Avenue. Carrie Wong, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue. Katie Oman, Gunmetal Blues, Key City Public Theater. Bryce Cutler, Once on This Island, Village Theater. And Matthew Smucker, Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Best Music Direction for a professional show. Matt Perry for White Christmas, Fifth Avenue Theater. Beth Tankersley, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue Theater. Tim Simons, The Fantastics at Village Theater. Michael Nutting, Once on This Island, Village Theater. And RJ Tansioko, Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Best Choreography, Professional Musical. John McGinnis, The Little Mermaid, Fifth Avenue Theater. James A. Rocco, White Christmas, Fifth Avenue. Jimmy Shields, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue. Amina Kaplan, Once on This Island, Village Theater. And Katie Tabb, Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Best Performance from an Ensemble for a Professional Musical. Disney's The Little Mermaid, Fifth Avenue Theater. Irving Berlin's White Christmas, Fifth Avenue Theater. Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue. Once on This Island, Village Theater. And Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Best Performance from a Supporting Actor. Cassie Q. Cole, The Little Mermaid, Fifth Avenue. Angela DeMarco, Beautiful, The Carole King Story, Village Theater. Candace Song Donahue, White Christmas, Fifth Avenue Theater. Karen Terry, Sunset Boulevard, Show Tunes Theater Company. And Alan Fitzpatrick, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue. Best Performance from a Featured Actor in a Musical. Cayman Aleka, White Christmas, Fifth Avenue. Brandon O'Neill, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue. Krista Holbrook, Gunmetal Blues, Key City Public Theater. Marlette Buchanan, Once on This Island, Village Theater. And Alexander Killian, Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Best Performance from a Lead Actor in a Musical. Cassie Q. Cole, The Hello Girls, Taproot Theater. Diana Huey, The Little Mermaid, Fifth Avenue Theater. Sarah Rudinoff, Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue Theater. Jeffrey Simmons, Gunmetal Blues, Key City Public Theater. And Sidney Quilden, Once on This Island, Village Theater. Best Direction of a Professional Musical. Glenn Casal, Little Mermaid, Fifth Avenue. James A. Rocco and David Armstrong, White Christmas, Fifth Avenue. Brendan Chambers, Gunmetal Blues, Key City. Amina Kaplan, Once on This Island, Village Theater. And Jay Santos, Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Best Musical. Irving Berlin's White Christmas, Fifth Avenue Theater. Something's Afoot, Fifth Avenue Theater. Gunmetal Blues, Key City Public Theater. Once on This Island, Village Theater. And Spring Awakening, Fifth Avenue Theater. Now we've got next two categories are professional categories that aren't specifically addressed to a show. The first is a new category we're introducing this year for stage manager. So this is, in a lot of cases, you'll see stage managers that are responsible for managing multiple shows. And it's really the body of work over the season that we're taking account for with this category for stage manager. But one of those people that's behind the scenes that makes sure everything is where it needs to be, makes sure that everybody's, all the actors and the crew and everybody is in sync and ready to go. Shows would not be able to run without stage managers. So that's why we wanted to make sure we put them in our awards this year. So professional stage managers, our top 5 nominees are Ruth Eitemiller, Anna Vraney, Brie Cafolo, Stina Lottie, and Bridget Ridge. Now, I don't have the specific theaters that they've worked for in this list. I will correct that when I post the list of nominees, which will probably be at this point early next week, after I get back home to the cool and not humid Pacific Northwest. Final professional category is for Best Theater. And Best Theater is a combination of programming and the experience, the physical experience of the theater. It's a combination of the two. Top 5 nominees for Best Professional Theater: Taproot Theater, Fifth Avenue Theater, Village Theater, Key City Public Theater, and Seattle Rep. Okay, well, that is our professional nominees. Next, we're going to move on to our community theater nominees. And these run the gamut. There's probably 3 times as many shows that are in the community theater space than in the professional theater space. So narrowing all of these wonderful performances down to just 5 was tricky to say the least. But we've done our best, and there's so much good theater out there. We've added so many new theaters through our community theater scope, not just the professional theater scope, our community theater scope this year. And it's amazing how much good stuff is out there. Hopefully, we're doing a good job of getting the word out there so people know about these things. But enough about that. Let's go forward with the nominees. So we're going to start with plays and then work into musicals. So best sound design for a play in the community theater space. Dylan Twiner, The Play That Goes Wrong at Tacoma Little Theater. Chelsea Moniz, Spider's Web, Center Stage Theater. Ari Nikas, Plaza Suite, Renton Civic Theater. William French, Colder Than Here, As If Theater. And Rob Whitmer, Clyde's Arts West. That's best sound design for a play in the community category. Best lighting design. Michelle Weingarten Bandis, The Play That Goes Wrong at TLT, Tacoma Little Theater. Mark Chenovic, Meteor Shower, Second Story Rep. John Chenault, Spider's Web at Center Stage. Rob Falk, The Book of Will at Bainbridge Performing Arts, BPA. And Bill Hulls, Rope at Renton Civic Theater. Best costume design for a community play. Beth Ann Galloway, Murder on the Nile, Port Gamble Theater. Morgan Morgan's Spider's Web, Center Stage Theater. Kristen Bradbury, The Book of Will, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Jacqueline Edwards, Unrivaled, co-production from SIS and Seattle Public Theater. Kristen Bradbury, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best set design. Blake R. York, The Play That Goes Wrong, TLT. Eric Furheim, The Book of Will, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Bradley Camp, Gwen Mansfield, On Golden Pond, Port Gamble Theater. Bill Clorig, Chapter 2, Port Gamble Theater. And Burton Yoon, 10 Acrobats in an Amazing Leap of Faith, Center Stage Theater. Best performance by an ensemble in a community play. The Play That Goes Wrong, Tacoma Little Theater. Spider's Web, Center Stage. Rope, Renton Civic Theater. Clyde's, Arts West. And Move Over Mrs. Markham, Phoenix Theater. Best performance from a supporting actor. Ashley Corbally, Doubt, A Parable, The Jewel Box. William Scott, Spider's Web, Center Stage. Kimberly Wolfson, 10 Acrobats in an Amazing Leap of Faith, Center Stage. Ingrid Sinai Buran, Move Over Mrs. Markham, Phoenix Theater. And Talana Lane, Midsummer Night's Dream, Cambridge Performing Arts. Best performance by a featured actor. Leah Shannon, Good Water, Northwest Original Works. Savon West, Trouble in Mind, Burien Actors Theater. Shayna C. Smith, Red, Burien Actors Theater. Alyssa Hersey, Witness for the Prosecution, Jewel Box. And Sadie Gingold, Midsummer Night's Dream, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best performance from a lead actor in a community play. Taryn Pierce, Cry It Out, As If Theater. Kiara Hensler, Spider's Web, Center Stage Theater. Amy Gentry, Colder Than Here, As If. Scott C. Brown, Red, Burien Actors Theater. And Jason Gingold, Midsummer Night's Dream, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best direction of a community play. Jennifer York, The Play That Goes Wrong, Tacoma Little Theater. Vince Brady, Spider's Web, Center Stage. Misty Doty, Plaza Suite, Renton Civic Theater. Cindy Giese French, Colder Than Here, As If Theater. Agostia Coley, 10 Acrobats and an Amazing Leap of Faith at Center Stage Theater. And finally, Best Play. The Play That Goes Wrong, Tacoma Little Theater. Spider's Web, Center Stage Theater. Plaza Suite, Renton Civic Theater. Letters of Suresh, a co-production between React and Pradhatwani, and 53% of from Sound Theater. So those are the community play categories. We'll now move to community musicals. Starting again with sound design. Best sound design for a community musical. Matt Hadlock, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Chandler Gary, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Kyron Bullock, Anyone Can Whistle, Reboot Theater. Amy Silveria, Jersey Boys, Tacoma Musical Playhouse, and Matt Hadlock, Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Lighting Design of a Community Musical. Paul Bryan, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Michelle Weingarten Bandis, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. John Chenault, Jersey Boys, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Mark Chenovic, Merrily We Roll Along, Second Story Rep. And Shannon C. Miller, First Date at Center Stage Theater. Best Costume Design. Jules Mills, The Music Man at Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Beth Ann Galloway, Rogers and Hammerstein's Cinderella at Ovation Performing Arts. Northwest. Ovation Performing Arts Northwest, sorry. Shannon Freibuff Greeny, The Addams Family, Jewel Box. Jules Mills, Jersey Boys at Tacoma Musical Playhouse. And Justine Pogue, Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Set Design for a Musical. Judy Cullen, Dennis Kurtz, and Eric Furheim, Music Band, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Will Langamack, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Blake R. York, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Nicholas Olson, First Date at Center Stage. And Eric Furheim, Cabaret at Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Music Direction for a Community Musical. Mark Robbie, The Music Man, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Amy Hong, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Shauna Evinger, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Daniel Wolfert, First Date, Center Stage. And Shauna Evinger, Cabaret at Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Choreography. Harry Turpin, The Music Man, TMP. Molly Hall, Beauty and the Beast, BPA. Eric Clausel, Rent, TLT. Chandler Thomas, First Date, Center Stage. And Annalisa Brinchman, Cabaret, BPA. Sorry, I probably shouldn't use the acronyms. Tacoma Musical Playhouse, TMP. So Harry Turpin, The Music Man. Molly Hall, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Eric Clausel, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. And we said Chandler Thomas, First Date at Center Stage. And Annalisa Brinchman, Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Performance from an Ensemble in a Community Musical. The Music Man, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Jersey Boys, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. First Date, Center Stage Theater. And Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Performance from a Supporting Actor in a Community Musical. Bryn Geisler, Cabaret, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Amy Jo LaRubio, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Darian Cunningham, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Mandela Gardner, First Date, Center Stage Theater. Max Lopazinski, Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Performance from a Featured Actor in a Community Musical. Megan Castillo, The Music Man, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Seamus C. Smith, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Jake Atwood, Jersey Boys, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Natalie Wingirter, First Date, Center Stage Theater. Brad Cerenzia, The Prom, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. That's Best Performance from a Featured Actor in a Community Musical. Best Performance by a Lead Actor in a Community Musical. Mauro Bozzo, The Music Man, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Alyssa Hersey, The Addams Family, Jewel Box Theater. Zach Fowler, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Jesse Selleck, First Date, Center Stage Theater. And Telena Lane Vito, Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Direction of a Community Musical. Harry Turpin, The Music Man, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Adam Othman, Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Maria Tanya Bandis B. Weingarten, Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Doug Fall, Merrily We Roll Along, Second Story Rep. And Jessica Lowe, Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Best Musical. Beauty and the Beast, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Rent, Tacoma Little Theater. Jersey Boys, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. First Date, Center Stage Theater. And Cabaret, Bainbridge Performing Arts. Now for those two final categories that aren't tied to any particular show. Stage Manager and Best Theater. For Stage Manager, in the community category, we've got Tamara Bale, We got Chelsea Moniz, Deb McConnell, Michelle Erickson, and Cindy Baumgartner for Best Theater. And remember, this is a combination of programming and theater experience. Bremerton Community Theater, Bainbridge Performing Arts, Tacoma Little Theater, Center Stage Theater, and Renton Civic Theater. Okay, so those are the community categories. We have two more categories to run through here. We've got Best Original Production, and we've got Best Troupe. Best Troupe is differentiated from Best Theater because a troupe isn't necessarily associated with a particular physical theater. They may use a space consistently, but they're still not associated with a particular theater. So these five will be troupes that are not, as I said, are not theaters per se. But first, Best Original Production, and this is one of my favorite categories because the more original productions we have, the more vibrant theater becomes. I think the more varied it becomes, and the more choices that we have. So this is probably my favorite category out of all of them. The five nominees for Best Original Production: Jin Hammond, Living Incognito; Doug Given, What the Dickens; Jessica Moreland, Good Water; Keiko Green, The Bed Trick; and Chris Eli Black, Brown Bodies on a Blue Earth. All fantastic shows, all very unique and really timely for a lot of the things that are going on currently. If you haven't seen those shows, hopefully they'll find legs and be produced in other theaters as well. So finally, last category of the night, Best Troupe: Pradadwani, The Hansberry Project, As If Theater, Seda Iranian Theater Ensemble, and SIS Productions. So there you have it. Those are all of our categories, all of our nominees. As I mentioned before, on September 15th, on Sunday night, we will be announcing the winners at our awards ceremony in Tacoma at Tacoma Little Theater. Hopefully you all can make it. I do appreciate you taking the time here, again, whether it's live or watching a recorded version of this, to spend some time and with me and just kind of in this theater community. I appreciate all of you welcoming me in and the Sound on Stage to the theater community, and I'm just so glad I've been able to meet so many wonderful people and see so many wonderful shows. We will have some information in the next week on tickets for the show. They will be free. That's still the plan. We're still trying to raise some money for to be able to provide some awards that are more substantial than certificates. We want to make sure we keep it free for everybody, and we want to get some good entertainment for the awards ceremony as well. So if you want to help support us, you can go out to our webpage, thesoundonstage.org, and you could either buy, we've got t-shirts for sale there, we've got coffee mugs for sale, or you can just donate money. Anything is appreciated. For those of you who have donated and are expecting t-shirts, we did finally get the order of t-shirts in. I will work with each of you individually to get them to you, and appreciate all your support. As I said, anything helps. We're just trying to, promote the performing arts in the sound, and so much good art out there. So with that, I am going to end the live stream here. So again, thank you for taking some time. Again, September 15th, doors open at 6:30, Tacoma Little Theater. Hope to see you there. And remember, any comments or questions, go ahead. I see some things in the comments here. Hopefully there's nobody telling me that I've been on mute the whole time. I will have these posted early next week, so keep an eye out for that as well. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking some time and joining me on this live stream. So until next time, I'm Greg Heilman with the Sound on Stage. I will see you at the stage door.